Greetings guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. For those of you that are new here, I am a professional intuitive empath and I want to say a fond thank you for joining me here today and inviting me into your homes by clicking on this video. I am so ready to share this message with you today. Now, I have a few things up my sleeve today, but one of the things up my sleeve is a Tinsel tarot reading. New deck, new Deckington. It's unboxed, but we are going to take a look at it. I'm going to work it into the message that's for today. This message is for anyone that needs to get back refocused on the magical things that are coming your way. It's Tinsel Town. I thought I'd put on some tinsel. I also have some other messages coming out. Pay attention to those on my shorts. Some country message channeled information, and I can't wait to get into it. So let's do it. Now, over the last several weeks, the song, like you guys ever get on songs, and I've been doing a lot of driving, and when I'm in my car, the song that I kept putting on was No Flocking. No Flocking by Kodak Black. And you will be like, what? Especially if you don't listen to rap. And I wouldn't even advise that you go listen to it because it's not going to make a lot of sense. The beat is really hard. The music is really hard. It feels really official and presidential. And sometimes that's how I'm choosing what I'm listening to. But my angels were having me like downshift gears into a new thing and a new realm with myself. And they were like, it's time to get back to work. And I wasn't paying too much attention to the song, but the song was very significant. Well, this morning as I was done with my meditation and getting ready, they said, now put on some music, and I was getting ready, and I was getting ready for clients and all that stuff, and I was channeling what I was going to do. The country messages were coming through that I was going to work on, and yada-da-da-da, and I put on No Flocking. So I'm getting ready to No Flocking and getting ready to chat with you guys, and my angel said, look up what No Flocking means. Now, I'm going to give you a little history. Kodak Black, who is a very troubled artist in his own way. He's been in and out of jail. I think he even got a presidential pardon from Donald Trump at one point. What stars aligned for that to happen in his chart, God only knows. But the thing about it is while I don't agree with any of his politics, views, or anything, I always separate the talent because both things can be true from the person. What I will tell you is that he talked about this song and he was like, I don't even really like the song. It went viral. And he also dances to it, which is really funny. My angels caught my attention by having one of the shorts pop through when I was scrolling through YouTube shorts about a month ago, and he was dancing, and his dancing is just, it's kind of infectious to watch it. If you ever, because his DJ's in the back hyping him up, and he's like, F him up, go Black, F him up. It's so funny, but it's just a thing, and it became very viral, and he dances to it, and he says, I didn't even like the song. I was shocked that it caught on. But when he talks about it, he was saying, so they said, well, what does No Flocka mean? Well, Flocka, Flakka, this is so full circle. Follow with me, guys. You know, my angels and I, we have these very interesting conversations. So Flocka is a street name for a drug that is a synthetic drug, a designer drug that makes you feel very high, and it's equivalent to like horse tranquilizers to a certain degree, but it's called the zombie drug on the street, the zombie drug. So it makes you very out of sorts. Well, there's a bar in this rap where Kodak says, tell the doctor I'm a healthy kid, I smoke broccoli, meaning he smokes regular green, good old-fashioned weed, right? But he was saying that because, and in the song you hear him saying, boy, what's wrong with you? Because he's talking to his friends that at the time in the South, Miami, South Florida, that's where he's from, started smoking this drug and becoming like street zombies, and it was very disheartening to him. And he was like, you know, I'm a healthy kid, I'm also chunky too. And he's talking about how they're losing weight because of the drug. Kodak's weight can go up and down. And so it was just really interesting to me. But all of this, I'm going to bring around full circle to you. Again, listening to the song, because he even says in one of his interviews, I was not literally trying to say anything. I just was trying to say, don't smoke Flocka, because all my friends started smoking Flocka, and I thought it was whack. He thought it was crazy. He thought it was not the thing to do. He was like, if you're going to smoke weed, smoke the good old-fashioned regular weed that we've been smoking this whole time. And so that was really his message. Also, he does a few flexing things that are said, that are done in every, it's standard in every rap. If you don't talk about your money, what you bought, your cars, whatever, then what does it even mean? Well, this morning, as I'm listening to, I'm like, what does even no flocking mean? And I know what flocking means: to flock behind, a flock of geese, to run behind to a certain degree. But he was also saying no flocka. It was like a double entendre, if you will. Don't smoke this drug because it's wild and weird, and I disagree. He disapproves. Y'all, this is so embarrassing. I literally was so moved that I wasn't going to screenshot and move it to my little, like, you know, tablet and whatever. I literally wrote it on the back of my gluten-free cracker box. I literally wrote down what it said. My angels were like, literally, write this down because you're going to teach about it. I was just like sitting there and I was like, oh my God. And I cut up my little gluten-free cracker box so that I could bring y'all the message. So sacrifices were made for this message today. Okay, so when I read it, I don't know who wrote this, but thank God for them and understanding the depth, because if you listen to the song, you might not get any of this out of it. But when I listened to the song, I was getting all these official feelings. I was feeling presidential. I was sliding through the streets. I was like, no flocking. Like, I don't know why this song so called to me. Well, I just went through a whole spiritual warfare thing and a whole resetting of my energy. And when I read it, I said, oh, look at God. Look at my angels. They were talking to me even through this song. And I can't wait to do a quick reading for you and talk to you too through this song. No Flocking is an anthem by Kodak Black, a rapper and writer from Miami, Florida. The song speaks to the hustler's mentality of getting money and is a warning to those who try to come between the artist and their success. We're going to double back. This is getting good, y'all. The song conveys the idea that loyalty to oneself and their goals is important, and the word I wanted to write was paramount, but important, and that there should not be any flocking or following behind anyone who cannot contribute to a person's progression. And then underneath it I wrote, period. Okay? The song also touches on topics such as spending money on luxury items, I have a Taurus moon, luxury, and maintaining good health. I'm a healthy kid. I smoke broccoli. But what is your broccoli? Do you eat broccoli? Do you eat meat? What is your health? This is what I'm going to be talking about with you. Kodak emphasizes the idea of being self-reliant while also steering clear of negative associations and environments. I said, all that came from that song? Because if you listen to the song, I promise you, it just sounds like, it just sounds hard. It's just hard. When I say hard, if you're not familiar with the rap genre, it's just like tough. It's like something you want to like push your whip to, be in your car driving to, and literally just like, a healthy kid, I smoke broccoli. The other thing that I find really interesting with my Gemini rising with Kodak Black is that Kodak is very, he's very loquacious. Obviously, he's a rapper and a writer, but he is Haitian, so he is bilingual. So in his raps, he always includes a little bit of Creole or French. And there was a part in it where he was like, I'm 10 toes down, something about Reese's Piece, like he always keeps the piece on him. He's talking about a gun. But he was like, c'est la vie. Anyway, there's the reason that Kodak is enigmatic, because you're like, if you look at this kid, he literally looks like a gremlin. God bless him, right? He is not conventionally attractive at all, but he's so charismatic and talented. And it doesn't even really make any sense, really, but it does. God gives people what they give them, so it's really interesting to me. But that's why I'm 10 toes now. Something say lovey. Anyway, it always catches me because my Gemini rising loves linguists, loves other languages and people that speak multiple languages. I will always like perk my ear up for that. So that's what no flocking means. So let's go back real quick and talk about that. The part that stood out to me, and I underscored it. It's a warning to those who try to come between the artist and their success. It conveys the idea that loyalty to oneself and their goals is important, and there should be no following behind anybody that cannot contribute to your success or progression. How many of you have followed behind people or allowed people into your life that couldn't offer you shit? That couldn't offer you a damn thing. And I feel like the Tinsel Town deck is so appropriate to do this reading for, because I feel like if you're trying to make it. I also listened to another song today that by no accident was suggested on my playlist by T-Pain. He has a new song out. It's called Dreaming or Dreams or something. And he was like, this is what I was dreaming of. And he talks about his whole life and about any artist that's like, you are at this point where maybe nothing seems like it's popping off or it's successful. Any creator, any content creator. And if you keep putting the work in day by day, eventually you're going to have these moments that you were dreaming of. You be a healthy kid. Smoke that broccoli. You focus on your health and your success. Don't run behind anybody that can't offer you the next step up. And if you have to be loyal to yourself only, then loyalty to oneself is what is called for. Absolutely. We're not asking questions. We're not doubling back. So let's get into this reading and see what is your information from Kodak. I never thought I would be doing a reading from Kodak. Are you a healthy kid? You smoke broccoli. You have been betraying yourself. Come on. Look at this. Look at this 10 of Swords. You have been betraying yourself. And let's see how. Oh, the Tower. By not paying attention to things that were trying to fall down around you. Why? Page of Swords. People are watching you. Listen, the whole playlist that I had this morning was just so hood and so good. The next one that I listened to, and I'm going to tell you why this matters, was Cardi B. Cardi B just put out a new song yesterday, and one of the lines is, what does she say? Oh my goodness. She's talking about people like watching her, stalking her as per usual. But there's something she says, what the F? I can't even think of what it is. I'll probably come back and do another reading to that because I was so inspired. My whole playlist this morning was like, back up. You have people that are watching you. The Page of Swords here is definitely about that. People that are paying attention to what you're doing more than you might think. And so whatever you're doing, especially this message is for creators. Okay. This is for any artist. Okay. I might need to put that in the title. This is for anybody that's an artist or a creator. You have more people paying attention to you than what you think. And the thing that always rings true in the back of my head is never rue the day of small beginnings, because we all have to start somewhere. We all have a small beginning. People that are overnight successes have been working at that for 20 years. That's that part. That part. Next part. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, slow and steady wins the race. You need to set your own pace. And also, you cannot have anybody around you breadcrumbing you. Don't run behind anybody that's not feeding into what your dream is. The Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck. And what it leads to is growth over time. And it means that you have been, just what I said, taking your pace, making it work day after day. Keep grinding, keep working away. And one day, the whole world will wake up to what you have to sing, do, paint, draw, or say. That part. Clarify that? Yes, the Seven of Cups. The world will be your oyster. And that is the truth here with the Ace of Swords right behind it. The world will be your oyster. With the Seven of Cups, what we have is a lot of options. And you will have a lot of options. Whether you want options in love, whether you want options in agents, whether you want options in opportunities, whether you want options in scripts, whether you want options in writers, whether you want options or ideas. But the cautionary tale with the Seven of Cups, as it is scorpionic energy, is not to go down the path of devilry, especially for my empaths and my creators that are spiritual. We will be tempted for a taste of the devil's pie. What will be the devil's pie for you? That's a question that only you can answer, boo. But in one of those cups is always a snake. And they said, you need to stay awake. Stay woke. People creeping. Stay woke. Because in the industry, there's a lot of snakes. We learned that recently with Diddy. But Queen of Cups, come on, you're going to be seen as lovely. But a cautionary tale here with the Queen of Cups is, especially with all the bubbly, there's a cautionary tale here regarding addiction. In anything that you're doing, even if it's workaholism, guilty as charged, okay? With addiction. And also with the Queen of Cups, people could sometimes see you as someone to walk over. Now, that means that you're loving and you're emotionally available, but when you're in a Queen of Cups energy, you're in your feminine energy. What is the balance to the Queen of Cups? Let's ask and see if they do it. Scorpionic energy. Let them know that you got that demon in you, okay? With the Death card here, what we have is transformation and rebirth. And it also means that you might need to kill off for a while as you are achieving, because when we are in business mode, we are in more masculine energy. That Queen of Cups is all well and good, but people see that as soft empathy and they associate it with doormat energy. When we are in an achieving state, things need to go in a different kind of way, and that means you might need to kill off and slay all of that soft, gushy empath. Maybe just put it away, okay? In order to get to where you need to go for a while, all right? Yes, and with the moon, you need to be quiet. and just smile. Listen, building in silence is one of the biggest things that I can tell you. And this is a lesson that I learned personally. I used to have a radio show many years ago, and I was on just a smallish radio station. It was under the iHeart umbrella, but it was like a subsidiary, very down low. It was all the way down low. And so I did a spiritual show, and I had a business manager at the time who was like, you need to be advertising, put it on your Facebook, and every time you put it up. And what I ended up getting was a lot of this energy, which was the Page of Swords, a lot of looky-loos and people that did not mean well for me, that didn't give a damn about what I was doing, that were judging me, that could never have the temerity or the balls to do what I did, and they didn't have the talent either. That part, sis. And so I put it up because my manager said I should. And what I've learned as a metaphysical practitioner is that the best good that I do is when I do it quietly and people on their own come and find me and discover me. Now that has been recently backed up with my introduction to human design and understanding which character I am in that, which is a projector, which means that the invitation means everything in my life. So when people invite me into their life or they find me on their own, I actually do the most good because they actually want to learn. I am not to be advertised. You know, when my sister's like, be on TikTok, you should be on TikTok, you would have been famous. Well, if I'm going to be famous, it's going to happen because of exactly what we're talking about right here. Working quietly, working day after day and year after year. And then one day it might be an overnight success. But remember, you are on the ground floor here. And the same is true for you. You have this kind of work to do, and you're not always supposed to advertise and put everything out unless you're really trying to sell a product specifically. But if you are the product, if it is your actual creativity that is the product, I promise you, work hard and show up every day, and the world will discover thee. So the moon is advising you to move in the shadows, but don't be shady. That part, that's a really interesting concept. Move in the shadows, but don't be shady. Actually show up, but nurture that baby. There's a reason that gestation happens in the womb, that we don't get to see the baby growing on the outside of the body. If God of wonders above all majesty wanted to design it that way, I guess he could have, she could have, it could have made a transparent stomach for us to see. And we found ways to peep in and see, but really it is done inside while it is tucked away until it is ready to be actually outside, until the creation, you are ready to birth the thing. So incubating means everything when you're in a creative space. If you're growing your energy and you're working on your internal face that you will then show to the world. Also, when I think of the moon, I think of the dark side of the moon and the light side of the moon. The moon has a face that we all can see to a certain degree, right? It's been said there's a man in the moon, right? But there's also a side of the moon that we never see. So there is something about secrecy and moving in silence to nurture your upcoming creation. And this is going to bring you to this, being the Queen of Pentacles, sis. We love to see it. The Queen of Pentacles is someone who is stable and who is fortified with finances. Why are you fortified with finances? Because you've done the work that was asked of you. You've done the thing that you needed to do, and you are going to be rich. I'm rich, bitch. That's what I just heard in my head. You are going to be rich. You are going to be wealthy. You are going to have absolute amazing energy that is guiding you, and that is absolutely destined for you. Like, you're going to be financially solvent if you continue in this thing, but you need to learn how to balance. A work-life balance is going to be really important for you here with the Two of Pentacles, and what that means is that you need to balance your love, your romance, your family, your friends, your kids, whatever. Because sometimes a lot of us have all of these other parts of our life, and we are building in secret, but you need to also not be unavailable for the people that love you and that show up for you on a day-to-day basis, that just want the best for you. How do you still feed into those relationships? Because the best success is when you could take someone with you who believed in you from that ground floor. But that means you need to nurture those relationships. Now, I will say, I think of Mr. Beast here, and so maybe some guys here or somebody here may watch this and be of that ilk and of that huge like level of success. But one of the things I heard him say recently, because there was an article that was done about him, and they said, has Mr. Beast corrupted the system, or has the system corrupted Mr. Beast? Essentially was the prose of the article. And Mr. Beast talks about how he is so obsessed with his work and with like the right thumbnail and with what's going to get the next 100 million views, that it's all he thinks about. And they said, well, what about romance in you? And he was like, what I want in my romantic life, and what he found, because he does have a girlfriend, is someone that will watch documentaries with him, someone that's going to watch YouTube with him, someone that's going to care as much about the stuff that he cares about. Because he said, if I can make $100,000 in an hour, this was so powerful to me. This changed my whole perspective on my whole life in the last couple of years. He said, if I can make $100,000 in an hour just by myself, and I know what I make an hour. I'm speaking to you now as a practitioner that works. I have a website, evolvingwithmonette.com. You can book me. You can see what I charge an hour, but I know what I'm worth. And any client can tell you that it's worth what you pay, because we're going to get you to whatever you need to that day. We're going to get you through it. But I heard him say this: if I can make $100,000 in an hour, then to my lover, or to the person I spend my time with, what makes you that important that I would forfeit my time? This is tough, right? But for any creator here, you understand this. Your time is worth money. And if you have someone that's just wasting up your time and that is not edifying you and bringing you to new levels of whatever your thing is, then it isn't worth the investment. And people were like, ooh, that hurts. What about love? And is it all quantifiable that way? Well, actually, it is. And I know that my favorite lovers, connections, soulmate people that I've dated, been invested in, are people that are edifying me and that can help me grow. When it stops being something that helps me grow, then it's someone that I used to know. Because time is money. And if I'm wasting time in a love situation, I love, y'all. I'm a Leo. I'm ruled by the 5th house, which is romance and dating. But if I'm wasting time with someone who is not helping me with what I'm creating energetically, emotionally, or making me feel juicy, then it's a loss for me, because I know what I can make in an hour. So if I'm spending hours with you and it's just a loss, and the energy vortex is not something that's creating something that's going to make me want to work and isn't inspiring me, and you're not amused, then I don't know what to do. When Mr. B said that, I've never felt more seen. I mean, 100,000 is his threshold. That's just not where, that's not me, and it may not be you currently yet. Let's say yet. Let's all wish for that, right? But I was like, bet that, say less. That's exactly the kind of energy any creator or creative person needs to have while you all in love. Is this person making you feel down bad, or are they adding to where you're at and helping you grow? The more you know. All right. So that's an important lesson right there. Who are you spending your time with? Who you loving? Who you hugging? Clarify. 7 of Wands. Yeah, you need to be protective AF. The 8 of Wands and the catch a flight. Catch a flight. Apple bottom. Make it take a bite. Yeah. Some of y'all are going to be traveling. We're going to talk about that 8 of Wands in a minute. But the 7 of Wands is where it's at. You need to protect. You need to protect your cards. You need to wear your mask. We all have masks. And you need to protect your cards and protect yourself. There's lipstick here. You need to protect yourself. And you change clothes and go. That's what I'm channeling too. You need to protect yourself, because it's the wise thing to do. A lot of you guys are old souls here, and I'm telling you, everything grows when it is under there's a fan here too. Protect yourself from the fans, and you too. Some of you guys are going to be famous here. I'm going to tell you something. This protect yourself and the fans and you. The reason that I love this deck, specifically the Tinsel, is because it was like the old Hollywood era. And while that was incredibly fallible and filled with all kinds of demonic wild stuff, just like today's Hollywood is, there was a distance between the artist, the celebrity, and the fan. So the most you could do is read about them and understand through a magazine article that was very highly curated who they were or who they weren't. And I love that. You know, I'm an 80s baby. You didn't always have access to everybody right away. We had beepers eventually and whatever. And then we moved up to now everyone's in contact with you and can see where you are at all times. And it drives me insane. I am old school Hollywood glam, if ever there was, in my heart and soul, right? So I really relate to that. There's a distance. There's a reason you don't want to meet people that you idolize or that you care about. And there's a reason you shouldn't let people who idolize and care about you have that much access to you. This is very specific for whoever is going to be famous here. Keep a distance between you and them, because you're human and fallible, and it only takes one one unfortunate experience to ruin a lot of work that you've done. Yeah, that's what I'm supposed to tell you. Really protect yourself. Clarify that Seven of Wands. I'm interested in that. The Hermit. I can't make it up. The Hermit. There you are. You are supposed to keep yourself to yourself in this journey. And even when the moments feel big and you want to let in some other energy, they're cautioning you against that. It is lonely at the top for a reason. Mr. Beast has a team around him, so he has people around him for sure, but Mr. Beast did this from his bedroom, his basement, wherever he started, right? And then he turned into this monolith and this like juggernaut and this thing that we will never probably see again in our waking lives if you're in your 30s and 40s and 50s. There's a one of a kind, and he is it. But you behind the screen that are watching this might be a one of a kind of your thing too. But in order to do that, you have to be comfortable with being with you. That's what I feel very caution to tell you. Be comfortable with being in you and not seeking validation through other connections, because other connections can be such a distraction. Beyond being a distraction, it stops you from getting. This is Virgo energy here, which I so relate to. I have it in a couple places in my chart. Routine and showing up daily is how you're going to win the hearts of whomever is the collective for you. I would call the collective the people watching this. But let's say you're an artist and your collective is other musicians. Let's say you're a cellist and your collective is the orchestra. Let's say you're a chef and your collective is your culinary team. You show up and grind day to day, and you will win the hearts of many that come your way. I'm channeling Anthony Bourdain right now. Maybe he pops in to say hello. I think of him showing up on the line and being a line cook. The reason that Anthony Bourdain was such an enigmatic figure that we all wanted to know is because he was a trusted cook. He was a chef. We knew he burned himself. We knew that his clothes smelled like food. We knew that he smoked too many cigarettes and probably did too much coke by his own admittance. We knew that he had bad feet because he stood on them so long, and shoes that had worn out long ago. We knew that we trusted him when he said, don't eat fish on this day in New York because it's been sitting there this long. What makes you a accessible character in whatever genre that you're trying to belong to, own, or reign over is that you put in the work every day so that people can look back and see you and say, I trust you. You are a trusted person because you showed up and you put boots on the ground on a regular basis and you did it. So when Anthony Bourdain skyrocketed to fame, here's another message here too, especially with this the Seven of Wands here with this lady with the fan in her hand, but her hair is gray. This is for my content creators and artists that are on the second half of their life, and you're like, I didn't make it yet. Well, listen, TikTok just showed us anybody can make it at any age for doing anything. So if you actually have a quality product, then what kind of joy, success, fame, and financial solvency can you bring to your life and your family? So they are saying very specifically, do not think that just because you got a later start in life, this is very specifically for people that are starting something later in life, that you cannot hit it out of the park and get it right. Because what you bring to it is the gravitas of the hermit, of having studied and learned, of the gray hair, of that energy, of being a crone. And it's so funny. I was looking up the etymology of the word crone this morning because this is my life, and it actually means dead flesh. And I thought, Jesus Christ, this is what we've been saying when we call people crone, but it has now been switched by feminists to acknowledge the beauty of aging in women and that you are not just dead flesh. We co-opted it to take back the power of it because we are beyond dead flesh. And here's the thing about that dead flesh that someone may look over because you are older. You have this experience and gravity under you, and it means that you would do things differently than other people would do. Anthony Bourdain skyrocketed to fame when his hair was turning gray. He had been writing and wanting to get on and trying to submit his stuff to New Yorker and all the rest of it, just wanted to get in and have his way. Little did we know what a poet, an artist, a deep thinker, and a philosopher was hiding behind the line at some of these restaurants in New York. He was always meant to shine. He was always meant to do this work. He was always meant to leave the legacy that he did. But he didn't start out being famous famous as a kid. So that's what you need to know. In the land of TikTokers and all the rest of it, there is more for us here than the respite of just being young. There is the gravity of being considered amongst the dead flesh, of being a crone, of having something in you that is beyond the things that other people have ever known. The reason Anthony could handle his fame so well, and he still struggled with it. So that is something to know. I'm going to read more on that because I said pull a card on handling the fame when it comes, or handling the accolades or the acknowledgement or the influx when it comes. You need to be prepared and grounded and ready for that. And Anthony struggled with it, but he handled it better than most. He knew how to shut down the noise. He knew how to be by himself. He knew how to hermit because he had done it. He had done it. But when I talk about that Seven of Cups back to Anthony, his kryptonite was that relationship with Asia Argento, the witch that was dispatched in. You got to be so careful, my empaths and my creatives out there. When you are almost at the top of your game, and when you're about to pop, when you're about to break, when life is about to turn for goodness sake for you, you will be dispatched in. New levels, new devils, and it will be something for you to get through. Anthony did not make it through his test with that devil. She was there, and she tickled all of his demons. I have a video I just loaded. Where do your demons lie? You will always be sending someone that is delicious to you in so many ways, but you might not be delicious back to them. It's just a game that they play, and that took Anthony out in his final days. So that's a cautionary tale, because the more glitter is on you, the more shine is on you, the more people will want to be around you. And because it is lonely when you are ascending, you'll think, finally, it's my turn. You know, Risa Tisa just said that when we heard about her in Legion. But you have to really stay spiritually grounded, because those demons will love to overtake and topple a dynasty for goodness sake, for evil's sake, after all the work that you put in. So you need to be careful about who surrounds you. Let's clarify how to handle the fame. Two of Wands. Cinema. It's a movie. Your life is going to be a movie. Red, financial solvency. You're going to be rich. Knight of Swords. You have to fight for this. You have to fight. The Knight of Swords is clarify how to handle the fame. Three of Cups. You need a team around you, but it's of trusted people. With the Three of Cups, this is about familiar energies in a good way, not familiar spirits. That's a different thing. And also, you need to know what your team's shadow is. You see those shadows there? That stood out to me right here, guys. The thing about having people around you is you need to know what their dark and light is. Because if you're not careful, it can topple your dark and your light. Does that make sense? It can tap into you in ways that are not right. Let me get two more here. Yeah, and cause you sleepless nights. My angels love me. Cause you sleepless nights, the Nine of Swords. I'm not even saying the cards, because I'm so used to reading that I just know what these are. But this is the Nine of Swords. It would not look like this in any other traditional deck, but they need you to understand it will cause you sleepless nights. You need to know who's around you, and you need to be fiercely protective of your energy is the message here. Clarify that Two of Wands. The Seven of Pentacles. Be careful of what you're investing in, and understand that you are an investment. Now look at this. This says now starring. I'm telling you, some of you guys are coming up into a place where you are about to have absolute, oh, my nails match your dress and everything. Look at Jesus. Look at angels. Seven of Pentacles. Clarify that. Nine of Pentacles. You're going to be rich. Nine of Pentacles, you're going to be rich. The Ten of Pentacles, there's a progression to this shit. That's what I just heard. And that means that you need to pass on. Four of Cups means not interested. You need to pass on some of the offers that will come your way. Not all money is good money. Not every offer is a good offer. Not every contract is a good contract. You know, I painted years ago, yeah, in the bottom of the deck, the Lovers. Someone that you will know. Passionate love. And I'm channeling Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor. I don't love that, because that was really... Clarify Elizabeth Burton. I can't make that shit up. The devil. I didn't like that. And I was like, ooh, there's a toxic relationship that could get you off your path. So that's just something you need to know. I can't, you all saw that happen? I literally saw the Lovers, and then I was like, give me clarification, and it's the devil. Yeah. Sometimes you, ooh, this is a narcissist too. Look at this devil. I've never seen this card before, because I'm just using this deck for the first time. You see this devil? Look at that. And you see how she's begging? Y'all, if this is not the empath narcissist dynamic, I don't know what. You see how he's withholding? Oh. y'all, this is very personal to me. Do you see how she is begging and he's withholding? He could give her whatever she wants, but what he wants is her energy, because he likes when she's in this position. You be very careful as you start to level up. This might have just turned into a love read. I don't know what's going on. You be very careful when you start to level up that someone purposely doesn't fill your cup, because it's the only power that they have is to not give you the thing you want. Because why should you have everything? People are fucked up that way. And they will literally, those are the games that I'm being told to tell you that they play. People are fucked up that way, and those are the games that they play. People are fucked up that way, and those are the games that they play. They said, say it 3 times so they get it. So you will need to pass up on offers, because that's what came here. You will need to pass up on offers from people, and those people in the shadows. Who are those people in the back? People just talking. You see how he's making a choice? There's one thing that's going to come in that's going to be so divinely offered. This is literally the hand of God in the regular tarot decks, okay? Handing you something straight out of the sky for you, and you get distracted because there's all these other cups. Whatever will I do? This often happens in divine partnerships. When you're being aligned with someone who actually could catapult you into the next level of whatever your life is, you will start to get a lot of distractions in from other people and things. There's usually one partner that's stupid, that doesn't get it, or is unaware, and they're not asleep. You guys have experienced it if you've ever had a twin flame dynamic, unfortunately, where you knew what it was and they didn't, and it's all some bullshit. But that's purposely done, because usually later the other person wakes up and they're like, oh, it was you the whole time, and you're like, yeah, but I'm gone now. And that's pretty much how that goes. Rinse and repeat. What they're saying for you, though, is offers that come your way need to be vetted, and you need to make sure that it is the right thing. Do not let a toxic relationship dynamic with a devil get you off your path. One more, and let's finish up, because I got more clients and more things to do. The 4 of Swords. Don't forget your beauty rest, because it helps you. This is also about meditation. There's so much money here. This red is root chakra. This is you being financially stable. I love this for you. So really pay attention to that. Your rest and relaxation, your beauty rest. And I went back to the 10 of Swords, but this time it's upside down. So the channeling that I'm getting about this is this. If you stay prayed up, meditated up, and connected to source, spirit, your ancestors and angels, you will never be stabbed in the back. It doesn't mean that people will not attack, but what is the old Bible verse that it comes to mind? No weapon formed against you shall prosper. It doesn't mean that weapons won't be formed. It just means that as you are in the midst of attack, it'll be intercepted before they end up in your back. And that is because you pay homage and keep your spiritual hygiene up to date. You clean yourself, you sage, you salt, you ground, you pray, you meditate. That's why the card that came before it was the 4 of Swords. If you stay connected to Source and your creator and your spirit team, what's going to happen is all attacks, seen or unseen, will be thwarted before they end up having you like this. No more for you. That's the promise, they said, because you're doing a work that you're called to do. This is the offering that you incarnated in to give to the world, is whatever it is. You think it's just some great dream like T-Pain sings about. You think it's just some great spiritual moment. But the truth of the matter is it was for you to have and do, and for you to own it, because only you can give to the world what you are called to. No one else can ever be you. And that's a message also for the people that stalk, watch, or copy you. They can get a little bit of the sauce and the dressing, but you are the whole recipe and the blessing. And so anybody else will just be a facsimile. Copy that, roger that. So they can never really take the work that you've put in, and they will never, and listen, let me tell you something. It'll be a tragic comedy if they try to come for you with the 6 of Pentacles, if they try to get you off balance, because the 6 of Pentacles speaks to balance to a certain degree. That's what I'm going to channel it here. But this laughing and crying, it'll be them. Laugh now, cry later, all that. You get the last laugh is what I'm hearing. Bye, hater. You know, in the song that I was channeling from Cardi, where I couldn't remember it, she says something that's so Cardi, because she's known for not speaking proper English, really, and speaking like broken English, and she is Spanish as well, and whatever. It's just a lot going on with Cardi. And not the Spanish doesn't mean she doesn't speak proper English, so please don't anybody take offense to that. But Cardi is funny, and so in one of her lines she says, "I'm getting better and better. I can't see my competitors," and I was, because she wanted to rhyme competitors with better, so she says, "I'm getting better and better. I can't even see my competitors," something to that effect. And I was so hyped when I was listening to that this morning. You're getting better and betterer. Who the hell are your competitors? You don't have any competitors. And one of my favorite lines, another Cardi line, on my own competition, I'm competing with myself. That's in Cardi B's song Get Up 10. If you need a little inspiration on that treadmill, this is a song to listen to. They give a bitch two options, stripping or lose. I had to get it out the mud right across from my school. I said, dance not strip, or dance not F. Don't get it confused, meaning she worked for what she had. I'm getting better and better. People said she couldn't rap. People said she couldn't rhyme. People said she couldn't hold up or even keep time with some of the greats. But now when I see Cardi come up on my playlist, I'm like, sis, you're having it your way. She did it. She did it. But she did it because of all the things we talked about in this reading. Repetition, showing up from the mud, showing up when her teeth were crooked. What did she first rap to us about in Bodak Yellow? What did she say? She said, oh, it's such a full wraparound. My angels are so funny. We started out talking about Kodak, and she made that song Bodak as an homage to Kodak Black. She did Bodak Yellow, he's Kodak Black. Oh, my angels are funny. And so the full circle message of Kodak Black, she said, got a bag and fix my teeth. Hope you hoes know it ain't cheap. She's letting you know the cost of fame, but it did cost a little pain too. And she worked up to what she needed to do. We saw her with the crooked teeth. We saw her with the not great weaves. And now she's Cardi. Look at her. My God. I think she's rapping about Lucky Charms and Moncleve. This is not Moncleve, y'all. You can get this. You can get this anywhere. This is not Moncleve. But she does a thing. She's wearing like this like black and silver in the video. She's wearing a lot of outfits because it's Cardi. I think this might be important to your message. But she like flashes her wrist and it's got like charms on it. And she was like, Lucky Charms, but they Moncleve, which is a very famous brand. And a luxury brand, and I love that for her because we saw her started from the bottom. Now we hear someone here is gonna be famous. Started from the bottom. Now my whole team's effing here. Be careful of your team, like I said with the shadow, because it's those people that you think are friends that are really foes that you don't know. And everybody's rapped about having someone in their team that turned from a friend into a hoe. And you like, how did it happen though? So I want you to be very careful about the people you surround yourself with, because people can interestingly tap into their demon sides and flip, and it can get you off of your success trip. And that's not what we're supposed to do. Be like Cardi. Your only competition is you. Last thing, it's you. You can't look at everyone else, because when you don't have these blinders on, spiritual, like I'm a cowgirl today, so I'm seeing these horse blinders, right? They do that so the horse doesn't get distracted when they're on the track. They can't see the horse that's coming right beside them. Because if they did, they might get spooked. And upon getting spooked, they might lose a few precious seconds that's going to make them win the race. So guys, it's the tortoise and the hare for you. Keep plodding along in a steady pace. The success you have dreamt of is heading your way. You will get a bag and fix your teeth. You will buy the house for your mama and your family. You will do the things that you were called to do because you were designed to offer the world the artistic, creative side of you. So good sharing energy. Thank you for inviting me to do that. I hope it resonates for you, for all of my creators, artists, singers, writers, chefs out there. May you have every dream that floats around in the air for you. May you grab it all down. But there's a few things you might need to do. Pay attention to your team, their shadow side, and you. Pass up on offers that aren't right for you. And get so intentional and devoted to daily practice. Become a professional. As Stephen Pressfield says in his book, The War of Art, How We Procrastinate Against the Creation That We Are Meant to Give to the World. Show up every day. Because showing up every day means that you are a professional. That part. Message for you and me too. So good sharing energy with you. Come back and join me next time. We'll continue to evolve together.